Hey, shalom, shalom, halayla tawab, which is good night. Nakna waha a barish Allah walakim la tham, call shabawai baharacha wa kakshaw, Yahweh bahasham, Yahweh shah ma'amat, which is truly hey with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh bahasham, Yahweh shah to preach to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, Israelites, foreigners, Nacham, Matam, Kayam, Malak, Wathasha, Mayim, Korah, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Laim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash, Wamashana, Kabadim Zukoyim, Nawa, Wamala Akim, Shaw, Yeshala Zukoyim, Rakha, Gadawa, Wachasa, Washalam, Brakim, Laha, Bacharim, Shaw, Ha, Gabaya, Shah, Shalom. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means he exists, Bahasham, in the name Yahweh Shai delivers. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel, Shalom, which means peace. So today's lesson is going to be going into Chakama Shah Shalama, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11 and verse 24. It says, for thou lovest all things that are, and abhorrest nothing which thou hast made, for never wouldest thou have made anything if thou hadst hated it. You see, now a Christian, will pick this up, or someone without understanding pick this up and be like, okay, well, the Lord, he's dealing with, anyone, or the Lord is dealing with Esau and these other nations. You see, they actually think that from reading this, without understanding. It says, for thou lovest all things that are, and abhorrest nothing which thou has made, for never wouldest thou have made anything if thou hadst hated it. Now let's get some understanding on this, because the scriptures go into, it says precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, rough and paraphrasing. It's Revelation chapter 4 and verse 10. It says the 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne, and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things for thy pleasure. They are and were created. All right, so the Lord has created everything for a specific purpose. All right, that's why it says, for thou lovest all things that are. All right, so everything in its purpose, the Lord sees that for good, because it has a purpose in this movie. All right, it says, and abhors nothing which thou hast made. So it's not like, abhor goes into detest, to hate. It's not like the Lord is like, he hates Esau, you see, because he made Esau for a specific purpose. Esau is a good devil, He's good at his job. He's perpetrated wickedness. He's did the chemtrails, push forth, mass death, violence, death style, and has everybody thinking how they think. All right. So he's pushed forth evil into this world. That's been his purpose in this earth. All right, he's good at doing that. It says, for never wouldest thou made anything if thou hadst hated it. You see, so the Lord has created everything for his purpose, and everything in his purpose is perfect in his sight. You see. Now continuing on, let's get another one. Just proving that point, because the Lord don't change. All right. So this is Romans chapter 9 and verse 13. It reads, it says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. All right. And it's written right here. So the Lord hates Edomites. All right. But they have a specific purpose in this movie. And this is good in the Lord's sight, because they're playing out their role. This is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, I hated Esau, verse 1. Verse 2, it says, I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet, yea, say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage to waste for the dragons of the wilderness. All right, now when you go into this word hate, it says Shana. All right, and that means, it says Shana. All right, to hate, be hateful, enemy. All right, Esau is the enemy of the Lord. All right, and that's good in the Lord's sight. You see, that's his purpose in this movie. All right, now let's get another one. Because a Christian like say, oh, well, it'll take Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 24 and be like, oh, well, that means, Esau can be saved. Like, nah. It's Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 23. It reads, truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills, and from the multitude of the mountains. Truly in the Lord our power is the salvation of Yasha'Allah. Yasha'Allah, Israel, he brings power. All right. Now, truly in vain, it's a vain thing, for these heathen to think that they actually going to get salvation, because we see what's written in the scriptures about Esau, Edom, and these heathen, you see. We see what's written in Obadiah, all right? Esau, Edom is going to receive a just reward for what they've done in the earth, for being that good devil that they are. You know, they're going to be rewarded for that. All right. For perpetrating their wickedness, you know, turning things upside down, they're going to be receive a righteous reward for that. All right. They're going to get a recompense for that. They're going to be destroyed. All right. And this is good in the Lord's sight, you know. All right. Now let's go to Obadiah Ibaya. We get verse 15. It reads, it says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done. All right, what have they done? You know, we go to Psalms 83. You know, we go to Psalms 21. You know, the 21st chapter talks about the you know, how they are unable to perform a device that they have thought of, roughly paraphrasing. You see, so they've destroyed us as a nation. You see, but they thought they was gonna be able to do that forever. You see, the scripture going to Psalms 49 talks about how they feel like their houses are going to continue forever. Their house can go into their lineage, and then also just they you know, what they got set up, you know, where they're at, you know, the rulership that they got, you know, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. You see, so they feel like this is going to be forever. You know, they feel like it's going to be able to keep us down for a specific amount of time, you see, because it says, as thou hast done, because they've destroyed us as a people. It says, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy head, their righteous recompense. All right, it says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain. All right, and that word drunk goes into shatah. All right, which is literal and figurative. All right, so figuratively, they have drunk, they have benefited off of our us being down as a nation. They've been able to keep themselves in rulership, you know, due to prophecy by keeping us down. You see, it says, and it says, yeah, it says, yeah, they shall drink. It says, so all the heathen, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yet they shall drink and they shall swallow down. They shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. All right, the elect is going to be delivered, and there shall be holiness. All right, so chiefly going into the elect is going to be delivered. You see, 2/3 will be taken out of this situation, you know, in the kingdom. You know, it says, and there shall be holiness. All right, the scripture go into Psalms 50 and verse 21. It talks about pretty much how the Lord is setting the elect in order before you know, these heathen eyes. All right, starting with this truth. All right, it says, and there shall be holiness. The scripture also goes, I'm gonna get it. This is Isaiah, Yeshaya, chapter 52 and verse 1, because it says holiness, and there shall be holiness. Awake, awake. This is Isaiah 52 and verse 1, Yeshaya. It says, awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, referring to this truth. O Jerusalem, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. All right, and that's why it says there shall be holiness, because, all right, starting with the elect. All right, that's you know, when we were giving back this truth, this knowledge. All right, so the elect is gonna it's gonna be the first fruits. All right, they're gonna be the first ones to be in the kingdom. All right, and 2/3 will be born back in the kingdom. All right, and they're gonna be holy. All right, so that's why it says, and there shall be holiness. All right, starting with the elect, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. All right, because it said no more the uncircumcised and the unclean. All right, because what pretty much got us out of the land, you know, us going off. You see, I'm gonna get another one. Let's get Isaiah chapter 62. Also, Yeshaya chapter 62. We'll get verse 4. It says, I'm going to start from verse 3. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy power. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land be termed desolate, any more be termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah, which goes into joined. For the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be merry. All right, because we're going to be one with that land again, because we're not going to go off. All right, because going back to that holiness, mentioning Ibaya, Obadiah, chapter 15, or chapter 1, in verse 17, it says, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Oh, it's a lot. I was talking about that point. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, because right now we're under the curses, you see, but being that we're not going to go off anymore, we're going to actually possess the things that we have in the kingdom. It says, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Yahwasap, Joseph, a flame in the house of Aishawah, for stubble Esau, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. You see, so Esau, you know, I'm gonna get it. This is the Psalm chapter 49. We'll get verse 10 or verse 11. It says, the inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. All right, this house goes into, it says house, dwelling, habitation. All right, human bodies figuratively. All right, the dwelling places. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So they feel like they're gonna have the power of the earth forever. That's why they do all their, the mad scientist experiments trying to go to the moon. Things like that. But it's pretty much going into this because contrary to their belief. All right, I'm gonna read it again. This is Obadiah chapter 1, and we'll get verse we're at verse 18. Says, in the house of Yahweh shall be a fire, and the house of Yahweh a flame, and the house of Ishawah for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. You see, so they're not going to be in that that rulership that they had before. You see, and then going into the kingdom, they're going to be destroyed. All right, after their 1,000 years of slavery. All right. So again, contrary to their belief, what the scriptures has written about Esau, Edom is that 1,000 years period, to where they're going to be enslaved, and then when they're destroyed. You see, so it's not going to be any remaining of the house of Esau. It says, for the Lord hath spoken it. You see, so going back to Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 24, you see, because the Lord said he doesn't change. Let's get that real fast. This is Malachi chapter 3, begin verse 6. It says, for I am the Lord, I change not, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. You see, so the Lord don't change. So he has always hated Esau, Edom. You see. Nevertheless, this is Wisdom of Solomon 11 and verse 24. It says, for thou lovest all things that are, and abhorrest nothing that thou hast made, because the Lord made him for that purpose. He made him perfect for wickedness. You see, Esau, Edom. It says, for never wouldest thou have made anything if thou hadst hated it. You see, so the Lord made everything for a specific purpose. You see. He not looking at Elam like, why did I create Elam for this? The Lord is perfect. So he made everything for a specific role in this movie. That's why it's called the scriptures, because it's a script. The Lord did. Let's get that. This is Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah chapter 46. In verse 10, it says, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Because going back to Revelation chapter 4 and verse 10 and 11, everything was made for the Lord's pleasure. All right, it was made perfect for the Lord's pleasure. All right, so I want to get this precept because we're going into the script. This is the scriptures. The scriptures was written. Everything was declared from the beginning. All right, the Lord made the script from the beginning. All right, this is his movie, and everything is perfect in his sight. You see, Esau, Edom is just being able to push forth his wickedness throughout the earth so that we can appreciate righteousness. You see, but I don't want to Zaza by Nayapa. Lord's will, that was a beautiful edification to the spirit. Wa I don't want to Za. Atham Yash Layala to Wa. Lord's will, you have a good night. Shalom, shalom.